welcome everyone to the IC PAX East Qualifiers. I'm Nick Axavanis, joined by Megan Zagnat-Bo.
Megan?
Megan.
My name is now doubled.
You're doubled.
We actually have a Nick at Turbine, so maybe that's what you should be too.
I could be Nick. Not enough Nicks in the world. There's only...
I don't know, actually.
This needs a few more.
I don't know.
All right, guys. Well, we have an awesome tournament going on. Of course, this is the Qualifiers for PAX East held at Boston. It's a $25,000 tournament. The top two teams from this qualifier get an all-expenses-paid trip to compete in the exclusive $25,000 tournament at PAX East. Before we get into more about this tournament, though, for those of you guys who are new to Infinite Crisis, here's Megan with a quick rundown of the basics of the game.
So Infinite Crisis is a 5v5 MOBA set in the DC universe. It's highly competitive, based around just being balanced and fun. There are in-game objectives that let you just basically blow up the world, no matter who you are, Green Lantern, Batman, the Joker. You can pick up cars, you can pick up meteors, throw them, create your own path, and it's just all about being, being the best at what you do, but also helping out your teammates. So for those of you who haven't heard, Infinite Crisis is finally opening its open beta, coming in March 14th. We've got 3 heroes that we're releasing all at once. So Aquaman, he's going to be a really neat blaster that has all these different abilities he can use with his ultimate. We're also coming out with Green Arrow, who's really exciting around this time. He's going to be the final marksman to join. I know you guys have all really wanted this marksman to be entering. And we also have Mecha Superman, who's a mechanical version of Superman that has a really tragic backstory that you should probably do some research on. So at PAX East, we're going to be having this 25K tournament for the pros and also a 5K amateur tournament that anybody, so that means you, can sign up for and have a chance to win. So the qualifiers for the tournament that we're doing right now for PAX East is going to give 2 open spots for people to contend against titans like Dignitas EU and Complexity. So if you want any part of this, you best come to PAX East and we'll see you there.
Thanks, Megan. You can see here it's an awesome 5-on-5 MOBA type game. Superheroes and supervillains, your favorite DC characters. You can play them all. Now let's talk about the tournament at hand. So, of course, it was an 8-team double elimination tournament. We're now down to just the last few teams. In fact, if we take a look at the bracket there, we can see exactly where we're at. Unfortunately, Field Team 6 did have to forfeit to Vexx. They weren't able to show up with their entire roster in time. So Vexx advances to the lower bracket finals. Kelevra Gaming Origins did take down Kelevra Gaming Blight. So the matchup today is going to be the lower bracket final match between Kelevra Gaming Blight and Vexx Gaming. Vexx Gaming. Sorry, I got my mind spaced out there. Vexx Gaming and Kelevra Gaming Blight. And this is one of the most important matches we have here because the loser of this gets nothing. The winner of this is guaranteed top 2. Now they'll go into the grand final. They may get first, may get second, but the winner is guaranteed a top 2 finish. And a top 2 finish means they get that. The whole team gets an all-expenses-paid trip to compete at the PAX East tournament in Boston, where that's where the real money is. It's a $25,000 prize pool. There's only be a select few teams there: Dignitas, Complexity, and of course the 2 teams qualifying from here, and maybe 1 or 2 others from other events. But super important match on the line. Let's take a look at the rosters of our teams here today.
So the first team that we're going to be taking a look at is KGB. So we've seen plenty of these people. So we've seen Chow, he's been rocking the Batman, Drools with the Doomsday. Joker's not playing Joker, but playing basically everything else. Pseudo Style actually playing the Joker. Silky and Yechi, who is actually the team captain. So they've put up a fight pretty well. It's interesting to see the KGB versus KGO matchup. And KGB losing is kind of like, the most confusing thing ever, right? But they still have that opportunity. They can still secure that spot, and that's what they're going to be vying for. And their opponents of Vexx Gaming, we can take a look at their roster just in a second. We've got Crashy, Bros, Fatal Uno, The Tick, S to the O, and Asylum Kanata. And S to the O and Asylum, I think, have been pretty big carries within that team. We've seen Crashy rock the Doomsday too.
This is going to be interesting. So far, Crash isn't sticking with Doomsday in this tournament. In the past, we see him do something. He really loves Doomsday. He rocks that Doomsday, like you said, crazy. Asylum Kanata, I think we've only seen him play. He's played Joker and Zatanna. But we've also Pseudo Style, because KGB is going to be the higher seeded team. That means they get the first draft pick.
Yeah.
And every single match so far, they've always picked Joker first, and they've always had Pseudo Style pick Joker. And so I'm sure they're going to have, on Vexx's side, S to the O will probably be picking Cyborg. He loves that marksman carry. And are they going to pick another marksman, or they're going to say Asylum Kanata? I know you like Joker, but obviously KGB is going to pick Joker first. Is he going to be Zatanna? It's another type of power damage who can be kind of a late game carry depending on how much power damage he gets.
Yeah, I mean, well, the best part about this team is that they're all versatile, so it'll be interesting. Even if they might get forced into a role that they're slightly less comfortable with, I guarantee you that they're still going to put on a great show, because the best part about these players, the KG ones and of course Vexx, is they can just put on any hat that they want to and rock it.
So we're talking a little bit deeper into the draft picks. Yechi, you know, or for KGB, we've seen Chow often goes Batman. That's not as
Every time has gone Batman, I believe.
Yeah, and that's a pretty safer pick. Teams usually don't take that one Batman out too early. And then we also look at Yechi, who either goes top Poison Ivy, some form of green plant Poison Ivy coolness. And they often play a lane with a lot more melee games. In fact, in our most recent match in the winter bracket finals, we saw KGB run, I think, 3 melee champions, only 2 range, against a pretty much entirely ranged lineup from KGO, with the exception of, I guess, a Nightmare Batman.
Right.
And that was a really close game. So there's a lot of people who say, oh, the ranged champions are you know, much stronger in the laning stage of the game. KGB says we can play the melee just fine, just keep diving on them.
Well, and you know, that's the trade-off. You have the melee people, and even though they need to get in there and actually take the damage, they're probably going to be dealing a lot more damage than somebody at range to kind of balance that out.
So I think it's time to jump into the game and check out what champion these teams pick and see if Pseudostyle sticks with that Joker first draft pick. We'll get right into it. All right, guys, we're here in the game. We unfortunately missed the initial lobby screen, but you can see that the draft picks again. Pseudostyle went straight for that Joker. A big fan of the Joker. He is kind of trolling around a little bit. On the other hand, we have Asylum Kanata playing Catwoman, which I think Asylum Kanata plays both Catwoman, and I've seen him play Joker before. It's interesting. So Vexx Gaming didn't take the double marksman draft when Joker was taken early.
They didn't,
KGB.
but you know what? The first thing I honestly noticed is that Chow is playing Gaslight Catwoman and not playing Batman.
Yeah, that's true.
What's happening?
What is happening? That no love for the Batman?
I don't know. I'm so confused. Well, maybe.
You know, they did lose last match.
Yeah, I mean, so you think that it wasn't Batman's fault?
Nothing is ever Batman's fault. He's Batman. Come on.
Batman blames himself for the death of the parents, so.
That is true. So maybe, but it's not really his fault. See.
Yeah, I guess so. But
you know, that could be it. Chow could have blamed himself for the loss of the team. Said, all right, we'll play Gascat. Gascat, a lot more damage, burst damage than Batman.
A little bit more
life.
Ability as well.
Yeah,
so.
more mobility.
Yeah, but so what is that lane? It looks like they're still sticking together though. Yechi and Chow. So we've got a Siren's lane up here, and I think they're just going to go all out aggression. Probably going to be able to sustain themselves much better than that Gaslight Batman, and they've got a fair amount of harass between the Steam-powered Claws and the Root Strike with the Blow Kiss there. So this matchup mid, Jokers versus Asylum Kanata, is actually also going to go one way or the other too.
Joker misses a Tracer shot, takes a whip in the back for his efforts, and it's interesting when you have someone who does, you know, whose damage is based off of abilities like Catwoman versus someone whose just basic attack is so powerful like Cyborg. It's kind of a give and take in the lane. I mean, Cyborg looks to be a little bit stronger early on, but Catwoman can still keep picking at him and weaken him over time. And yes, Cyborg is a little stronger in the face-up, but what's really important is that Catwoman can escape a gank much easier than Cyborg can.
Right. That's definitely true, but you know, Crashy is a really good jungler, so I think this might come down to, you know, him picking the lane and starting a snowball, and conversely having Nightmare Batman be not as effective as Doomsday without the charge early on. A little bit of a power spike at level 6 once he gets his ultimate is going to be a little bit of a different playing. We might even see Drools kind of hang out and just wait to get level 6 in the jungle.
In fact, he's just hardcore junking right now. So is Crashy. Crashy's going back. Already level 3, though, against Drools, only level 2. You know, at the bottom, we have kind of the Blaster standoff with Zatanna against Joker. Of course, Joker, a little bit more crowd control. Well, they're very different with their blasting abilities. They both can do pretty good damage straight out. Neither one quite as much as Green Lantern. But Zatanna has a shield, she has speeds and slows, and of course her ultimate is a rabbit, whereas Joker has a little more AoE abilities to back up his arsenal.
I think that lane will mostly be a standstill until we see the jungle come in there. I don't know, looks like actually Fatal Luna being slightly more aggressive, but I don't know. Look, Joker's appears to be somewhat on the losing side, but not substantially. It's not going to be too much. Wow, already going for that EMP3 in the top lane. Really excellent play there for Vexx.
Yeah, Crashy comes in or helps secure that kill onto EMP drone. Now he's heading out somewhere else. not want to stay in lane too long. 3 in a lane, you really lose a lot of experience and credits. So unless you think you can take down a turret, it's good to just keep 2 in there for the most part. Look at this, Bros going in deep, trying to take down Chow. Chow in a lot of pain here. Yechi should be to keep him alive, but that was a great trade for Vexx.
That's definitely true. So Catwoman, is she heading back to base? Was she? Yep.
Yeah, she decided, you know what, Cyborg hurts. Let me equip myself a little better to deal with his plasma cannon, if that is at all possible. That guy is packed a punch. Chow again taking damage, and look at this, S to the O and Bros really keeping the KGB players pushed very far back here, and that's going to deny them some of the experience and credits in the lane.
Looks like Asylum actually decided to go Deadshot's Visor after picking up that no weapon. That's definitely a perfect item for Catwoman. The on-hit effects, once she maxes it and gets that additional damage, is going to be super helpful for her whip strike. I don't know.
She's been definitely giving Bros a taste of the whip. Chokas. She's been taking a little bit of damage, but now he pops in extra speed, gets a couple base attacks off, and Cyber, when he hits that Tracer shot, gets that little Deadeye shot on his opponent. His basic attacks do a lot of extra damage.
I think that Kanata kind of has a clear advantage here, though, as long as he's really good at cycling his E and his Q. I feel like it's just impossible for Cyborg to keep up with the damage. That 2.5-second cooldown whip strike is devastating.
Oh, and he misses the Tracer shot, gets one basic attack off, but is he going to eat a whip? No, able to back away. No, and as soon as you see Catwoman Acrobat, you know that whip is primed and ready.
Exactly.
Oh, and she's going in on him. Getting in close, slowing him down. They're realizing maybe not want to get that close to Cyborg. His basic attacks, pack a punch.
It looks like Crashy is actually hanging around the top lane, and Nightmare Batman might be counter-jungling some. While Crashy's in the top lane, he did take one of Doomsday's camps, so I wonder if that's going to affect him or if he doesn't necessarily have a specific thing. Crashy's just lurking up there, hoping that Poison Ivy or Gas Cat overextends.
He's hoping to push the lane a bit. You know, I think they've identified there's no surveillance cameras. Oh, there's one here. Crashy has been spotted. Instantly, Yechi and Chow backing away. Meanwhile, Cyborg taken out by Asylum Kanata, and like you said, Catwoman is pretty vicious in the lane.
I don't think that, they can really let that fly. We've seen Catwoman, even when in a solo lane, be unable to carry the game, but having a kill this early on and being able to just kind of push and get all of that free stuff is not going to be good for KGB, so they need to keep an eye on her and make sure she stays in check.
Looks like SCO going a little deep. Jules here trying to get the kill, of course, without level 6. He doesn't have the amazing lockdown, but he still has some slows and ability to run really quick. Can they get the kill on Bros? Oh, the Sharpening Claws, a Poison Ivy attack, but not quite enough, and Bros escapes.
That was pretty narrow, though. That was a good place to gank by Jules. If he had his ultimate, that somebody would have died.
Oh, Asylum Kanata going deep on Jokas, eating a bunch of shots, and I think that trade went in Joka's favor. But no, Asylum Kanata still getting off more whip strikes.
Well, let's see. Asylum Kanata does have his invulnerability up. He might have been baiting that. Knowing the Cyborg does not have his up is always going to be good. Is she backing, or is she just kind of... Yeah, she might actually just be hanging around and healing back up.
Why go back if you can just flip around?
Oh, I don't know. Just ask her. Ask her now.
Ask her now. Decided that Catwoman's place is back at base. Of course, can pick up a little extra life, get right back into lane.
So we're seeing a little bit of more aggression on the top lane. There's, because of that early kill, still some skewing towards Vexx's side, but it still remains to be seen whether or not the objectives, once the Raider spawns and everything comes up, who's going to be more in control of them. They actually have Tier 2 EMP on Vexx's side, so they might be seeking an opportunity to utilize that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, where would their best push opportunity be? I feel in the mid lane. If they can get a gank on Cyborg and then just push that mid lane hard, that could be their best time to use that EMP. Maybe, you know what, they may just hold on to it for a little while. There's no super rush.
Right.
I'm going to take a kill on a sensor or surveillance camera there really quickly.
I think that in the bottom lane, too, we've seen a lot of different presences. Crashy came down there, Jules is hanging around there right now, but they seem to be kind of the most ignored.
Joka's taking a big taste of the whip there. Asylum Kanata really bossing him around a bit in the lane. Look at this. Oh, run, Cyborg, run. You do not want that Catwoman whipping you.
If that Cyborg overextends even the slightest, she can just pop her Bad Kitty and just, WQ, and he'll die from the damage over time.
Oof. Yeah, you can see the range game they're playing is so tight. These players have to know the exact range abilities. And
Nightmare Batman coming in from behind onto Asylum Kanata, though, waiting for that perfect opportunity. Even the Joker is coming up as well, pseudo-style, just waiting in ambush. Oh no.
There goes the ultimate, and that's definitely a kill on the Silent Kanata. And like you said, you don't let her. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I was like, is she going to escape? But no, that's a dead Catwoman.
She did use her ultimate, but
nice
a little bit
claws.
too late. Yeah, they're pretty cool, huh? Really scratchy.
Gas Cat definitely has larger claws. You can see here, she's got those steam-powered extra claws attached. But of course, Gas Cat doesn't have the whip, so to each their own.
Things are a little bit different, you know, in the Gaslight universe. I'm sure
That's
there's
true.
maybe different fashion sense, maybe different focus on those powers. That teleport coming in from Asylum Kanata doesn't want to miss out any of that experience, and doesn't want her turrets to take too much damage, so.
Crashy's got the EMP, looking for a charge. He's hungry. Doomsday is hungry for a kill. The whole team went up here. Then they realized, you know what, with the rest of the team converged down the middle as well, the tower's still at full life, even with an EMP. Maybe not the best idea to engage it. So Fatal Luna's going to cover the middle. The rest of the team heading up top, and you know what? KGB hasn't reacted this quite yet. Actually, just going for the Raider, and that's probably a pretty good pickup.
Yeah, that's gonna be free. They don't have any vision of that, I don't think. So they're basically unable to contest it. If you don't know that something's happening, what can you do about it?
Not too much.
If the Raider falls in the jungle and nobody's around to see it.
Does it actually count? Well, it's definitely nice to put this giant sensor turret, of course, has a huge range of vision.
And what do you think they placed it there?
I think they just want to be really safe.
Yeah, it's kind of a defensive positioning,
Yeah.
maybe guarding his own top jungle.
I think placing the first couple, if you don't know exactly the way the game's going, it's good to place them safe like that, where you know they're not going to be picked off, because you can really tell anytime the other team tries to come into your side of the map. And yes, it doesn't give maybe quite as valuable vision, but if you place one on their side of the map, then they start pushing the lanes, and that vision on their side of the map may not always be as important if you're playing a losing game. And they don't really know exactly how the game's going to play out quite yet.
So it looks like Zatanna getting converged on another ultimate from Drools underneath the turret, and the Presence probably able to pick up that kill. No, perfect Gaslight Catwoman.
But the bunny picked up the kill on Drool, so 1 for 1 in a 1-on-3. That's a pretty good trade, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, she was definitely going to die regardless, so taking somebody with you is good.
It's like Crashy's still looking for someone to smash. You know, when you play Doomsday and you don't get the opportunity... Man, Joe, Cyborg's like, this Catwoman is beating me up. Let me go bottom lane to avoid her.
Catwoman's like,
Nope.
all right, let's go.
He's like, wait a minute, I'm here to avoid you.
Poor Cyborg.
He's not having a good time of it right now.
Check out his credits comparison to hers. He's got 3K. Oh, some action breaking out in the jungle.
Oh, looks like Bros is going to escape. They don't want to pursue him too far with SCO right there. And, you know, Gas Bad and Atomic Poison Ivy, they've got a lot of damage potential if Atomic Poison Ivy locks someone down. Gas Bad just wails on him.
Yeah,
but right now,
of,
just harassing.
Yeah, I don't think they really want to commit too much. They don't know where the rest of the team is, and we can see that they're pretty nearby.
Yeah, in fact, they're going to push the lane just a little bit here, but here's Cyborg at the top saying, all right, Catwoman's not up here for sure. This will be the lane I can go and farm in peace. So let's see how that works out for him.
Trying everyone. I'm not fighting this Catwoman, guys. You can't make me do it.
Catwoman is, I mean, she's rough on a character like Cyborg just because she's so evasive. And Cyborg does so much damage, but if you can just always evade him and just stay outside of his basic attack, only get hit once or twice.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that ability to really slow you down and catch you.
I think the Catwoman is actually the natural counter to Cyborg because he relies on landing his tracer shot and then having his basic attack be stronger.
Yeah.
Ooh, aggressive play by
Fatal
Luna.
EMP Yechi in a world of pain. Crashy smashing the ground to pieces. And that's going to be the kill on Yechi. So Crashy's like, I want this Cyborg too. Wait a minute. That's a turret that EMP is not over right now. And oh no, they're in kind of trouble right now. Crashy trying to go back. STD having to pop in vulnerability, almost going down. Oh, he does go down to the turret. Crashy was discovered. Cyborg's after him. Would look like a great move from Vexx. Started to fall a little bit apart there as he got stuck between 2 different turrets.
And while all that was happening, it looks like the bottom lane actually managed to take out the turret, as well as avenging Jokas and his couple of deaths from Asylum Kanata. She went down and she just revived. She was defending that turret by herself, but could not do it against 3.
1-on-3, even a Catwoman's no match to that. She has a couple extra lives still. Now she's back in the action. Is she going to go up top just to haunt Cyborg?
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
I want to see. Oh, she's teleporting somewhere.
No, she's
Where is it
teleporting
gonna
back
be?
to the base.
Oh, that was interesting.
She might just be waiting for some credits, and that's why
Yeah.
she's hanging out there.
She's probably waiting to buy another item. Let's take a look what item
Yeah.
she's actually going for. Coda Blade, Soul Taker's Katana, Deadshot's Visor. So, do you think she'll go for Soul Taker's 3 or max out the Coda Blade? first.
Maxing with the Coda Blade might be the cheapest option.
Yeah.
In terms of like credit efficiency. Having the final tier of that and being able to mitigate any of the healing that they're attempting to do over there definitely would be really good for Poison Ivy and Nightmare Batman. Actually, Coda Blades, just for that itself, is an excellent counter pick to their team.
We'll have to see. I think she's still just waiting for some credits or something. See if Catwoman decides to head out on the map and take part in this game. Going up to the top here, they are going to grab another EMP, and Vexx has really done a great job of controlling EMPs. The last time they used one, it kind of backfired because they got stuck in a really rough place. Crashy went maybe a little bit too ham there.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seemed like it was going to be in their favor at first, but the turret just ended up dealing way too much damage for them to take.
Okay, Crashy's coming down. He smells some blood in the water or something. He's looking for an opportunity to try to get some damage in. He's going to go back in the jungle and hang out there.
But we have an aggressive play coming from KGB. They're looking to invade. They have the EMP.
They do.
Everybody from KGB is coming to that top lane and converging on it. Oh, they decided to back off.
Catwoman finally got her item. What'd she get?
I'm not entirely sure.
It doesn't really show quite yet. Maybe she's waiting to get to this turret or something. We'll see. Just kind of hanging out a little bit. Meanwhile, KGB decided to go back up to the top with the EMP. They may use that. Meanwhile, over here, Cyborg and Poison Ivy trying to push the top lane. Crashy's trying to figure out where he's needed. Says, oh wait, the middle's where I'm needed, but too late. EMP goes down, and that's a turret kill for KGB.
Yeah, Sound Kanata came and tried to save it just a little bit too late, though, and the ultimate goes on to him, and Gaslight Catwoman's able to pick up that kill.
I wonder if Sound Kanata's having some issues there, because kind of just ran straight in there, which you normally don't do as Catwoman. We'll have to see if he's able to continue. Meanwhile, a Raider kill from KGB. And where are they going to place that? It looks like they're starting to build some momentum on a team. So are they going to choose to try to place it aggressively? Oh, but I mean, it's obvious that Vexx knows they have that sensor turret. So we'll have to see where they are going to place it. It looks like, did they choose to place it?
I believe they place it to the left there. No. I think somebody might still have it.
Yeah, I think they maybe
check out Cyborg and Nightmare Batman. They might be the ones that are sporting it. Nightbat? Yep, he still got it.
Nightbat still got it. He's deciding where should I put it. We'll wait a bit and see where it's needed. Meanwhile, another little pressure here across the top. A 3-on-2 here, but we do have Fatal Uno coming to help out.
Cyborg going in the bottom lane just to get some farm. You know, Joker's was a little bit underleveled due to the whole Catwoman hurting him, and now he definitely seems to have caught up. You see in terms of credits, he's got that 4.5k.
Yeah, oh, Crashy coming in on Chow. That's a dead gas cat. And Vexx is pushing back KGB just a bit here.
That was a good play, definitely. Vexx was on top of picking that up. I'm not sure that KGB really should have been hanging out around there. They don't have all of them there.
Bros takes in Mr. Punchy. A present goes down as well, but SDO ditching a lot of damage. There's the ultimate from Joker. And instead, we're seeing why Pseudostyle always gets that first draft pick Joker, man. He is a monster with the Joker.
Speed up 2-0-3. The only person on his team to not have died. Going straight for that StarCraft too. Dr. Destiny's Dreamstone is something that I've seen him pick up, I think, every time. The will balance is really, really great.
I almost think, it's actually, as much as it's used, I still think it's one of the most underused items.
You think so?
Yeah, I do actually. Like, a lot of people get it, but I feel like almost everyone should be getting it because it adds a lot of power damage too.
Yeah, and
20% cooldown reduction as well. That's one of the highest cooldown reduction items in the game. And you combine that with the wheel balance, which is one of the best abilities in the game, and that power damage. And like I said, a little bit of armor as well. It's such a strong item.
I definitely don't disagree with that assessment, but I think that just maybe people want to go a little bit more on the aggressive side, decide to build just into straight up power damage. Never a bad idea.
Yeah.
Unless you're Superman.
That's true.
Actually, Atomic Wonder Woman would be worse with that. But interestingly enough, Doomsday scales off of power damage.
True.
You know, Atomic Wonder Woman has 0.
Around him.
So bottom, we see Joker's going in ham on that turret, going to take that out. There is a lot of turrets dying over there for Vexx.
So Catwoman, as I think, still having an issue here. Silent Kanata may be out of the game for now, which is unfortunate for Vexx, but they're going to try to do what they can here.
Yeah, having a disconnected player is definitely not the best, but it's not the end, you know? Vexx has obviously shown their skill, and they can definitely manage to make a comeback from this.
So let's see. So I think it's going to be up to Crash here, really, to try to provide a lot of disruption in the battle. But the problem is without Catwoman, they don't have quite this ability to capitalize on disruption, because S to the O with Gas Pat, yeah, he can dish out a lot of damage, but it's not its insane burst of damage. And you know, when you have someone like Doomsday can come in there and cause a distraction, you want to be able to take out someone instantly. Yeah, it could be Fatal Uno is going to have to really land a rabbit skewer combo, and then SCO is going to have to focus the same champion, and maybe they can take someone down past that.
That's true. Bro's been right in there with Secret
targeted Chow. But Chow somehow stays alive, going for SCO. SCO should, I mean, he's going to die, so he should maybe turn around and get Chow. But Crashy says, all right, Chow, you're mine.
Whoa.
Doomsday gives Gascat a nice big hug. At least picks up 1 kill for the team.
That was unfortunate. Crashy got there so late that, you know, his whole team that was there actually just died way too quickly. I think if Crashy had been there, though, that might have been a lot more even of a fight. It almost seemed like Vexx was going to take that over.
Yeah, they kind of needed Crashy there. They put, you know, what really made a big difference there is Chow with Gascat can do so much damage. They knew to focus Chow first, and they brought Chow down to like almost nothing. But then they weren't able to finish Chow off. You know, Chow went invisible, and then Chow continued to dish out a lot of damage throughout the entire engagement. So it's something that you need, like you need to get that Gascat down fast, or the Cyborg. Those are probably the two main big threats as far as just pure damage.
I think Pseudo Style, you're right, is really rough right now. He's actually finished building Starheart and Cosmic Belt. So not only does he have all of the power damage, he has so much penetration. That's going to be
we're seeing
tough.
some life from Catwoman. Heading back down across the bomber lane.
You know, just jumping back just to show her strut her stuff, you know?
Why not? Why not?
That's fancy.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how she can do now. She has been out of the game for a little bit, so maybe falling a little bit behind in creds and experience, whereas I think she was the leading actually everyone in the game earlier off the onset, just from her dominance in that mid lane.
Well, she's still basically on par with Fatal Uno and has more than Bros and S to the O. So, you know, apart from the enemy team having a couple of kills and doing some good combat, she is definitely not out of the running. She's going to be able to catch back up as soon as she's able to get back into that fight.
Looks like Vexx decides to come and crash. He pounds the ground everywhere. Who's he going to charge? He picks Nightmare Batman, putting him in the wall. A lot of damage follow-up going on Poison Ivy. There's a Gas Bat ultimate, a great ultimate. Drills is almost a desperation ultimate, knowing he's going to go down anyway. Might as well lock someone down. They do take down Crashy, so it's 1 for 1, but oh, that was a great knockup by Poison Ivy. Fatal Uno put the dash on her legs, and with that she could have ran down and probably taken out both the team, or at least slowed them.
Definitely. Hopefully they're going to be able to push that lane. So much aggression from this Gaslight Catwoman just goes right onto that turret. Asylum Kanata just dealing so much damage, but the double ultimate from Chow might still cause him to go down. I think if Asylum had like stayed being offensive, he might have been able to take her out. Oh, there's Bros. And the perfect skewer from Zatanna.
Secured anyway. That's a dead Gascat.
Yep.
Falling even off the edge of the map just a little bit there. And I mean, I think things are starting to turn around a bit for Vexx. That was a pretty good engagement. They got the kill on Chow. They did lose a damper though, and that's a pretty big deal. And they're still down by quite a bunch of credits.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit rough for, you know, Catwoman needs to deal a couple of whip strikes, and if she doesn't have a lot of crit, actually, and she doesn't as of yet, she's not capable of dealing that insane burst damage that we've seen prior. So I think Gaslight Catwoman just kind of was able to push that dampener with little opposition from Catwoman in fear that she would just dive her and instantly blow her up. We saw how much damage she was able to do to her in that small amount of time.
Yeah, the Gascat is getting really strong here. Now, Bros and Asylum Kanata can try to be a little bit annoying. They both have okay pokes here. They're going to force KGB back a little bit. Meanwhile, STO and Fatal Uno going to push top lane a bit. They have to have someone bottom lane, though, because of these super drones. The next wave is going to start pushing back. Losing a dampener is a pretty big blow to Vexx.
I mean, at this point, KGO isn't incapable, or KGO, woo, my brain. Vexx is not incapable of coming back from this, so I think that we're just going to need to see them group and target the peeps that need to die. Unfortunately for them, there's so many powerhouses over there. Joker's is obviously really strong. So much assassination from Catwoman.
Scary present. Look how much damage Bros took just a couple teeps from that present. You know, Crash is coming in. Bros is being focused. And look, like you said, the damage. I mean, they focus Tom Poison Ivy, who's normally a tankier champion, but just so much damage they were able to take her down regardless. Asylum Kanata going to escape. Fatal Uno and SCO in full retreat as well, and KGB is starting to push back, but Pseudo Style is low. SCO don't get. Oh, he barely avoided that knockup. That could have been pretty bad.
Looks like they're still hungering for blood over there on KGB. Might stick around to push that turret. And Jokus as well, pushing in the top lane. Probably not going to meet any opposition because they're so focused on stopping KGB from pushing this mid lane.
Oh, Sam Kanata was looking for the whip strike. Realized, I'm a little low. I don't need a Mr. Punchy. Backed away. Chow's going in deep.
Oh, you never want to do that. You don't want to acrobat into the enemy.
No, and Chow pretty much instantly takes down Sam Kanata. SDO, can he defend? Being zoned out a bit by Chow, and his turret is going to fall. Meanwhile, throughout it all, Cyborg put a lot of damage on the dampener. Crashing Fatal Noodle will push him back, but KGB is just dominating this game right now. Yeah,
they're doing pretty darn well, and they only have a few more kills, but they've been really good at pushing down those objectives. You know, ever since they lost that first Raider to Vexx, they just have been picking up all of it since then. And they have no active beacons right now. Nobody's planning on doing anything special to see this turret, like with the EMP, but I think just through sheer harass, they're going to be able to deal some damage to it if they commit to it. But they might decide to back out at this point, knowing that Pseudo Styles is pretty low.
I think they're just trying to force the Vexx roster to defend this middle and create an opportunity for Jokus to really punish this top dampener. It's gotten really low. And now when they all go to push back the wave on top, this is KGB's opportunity to push in there. But they need a couple of drones to tank for them. They don't have an EMP available.
And there are the drones right now, and Jokus is still adamant about pushing that top lane. Asylum is going up there in an attempt to defend it, but hopefully the same thing doesn't happen to her that happened when Gaslight Catelyn was there.
Oh, Jules gets a great move by Crashy, pushing Nightmare Batman into the tower. They pick up a kill on that. Rose is able to escape with a nice assist by Zatanna, giving her some extra speed to get out of there. And oh no, the dampener is being focused down, but Jokus knows that he's got to be careful. Cyborg not too great at escaping, so backs away, playing it safe.
They were able to deter them from that turret, but it was kind of a messy victory. They lost a lot of health during that exchange. It was a really good play by Crashy, but I think that the rest of them were hanging back just a little bit too much, probably a little bit scared of the fact that they've all died instantly at one point or another when going in there. So it's definitely understandable. But they need to pull their focus on one of those powerhouses if they want to, you know, be able to come on top of those team fights.
Hey, it's a jungle Joker.
Well, can you really say that it's a jungle Joker if it's level 13?
Level 13 Joker can do what he wants. Traditionally, Joker not that great at clearing up the jungle camps, but pseudo-style discipline with 9,300 credits. I mean, no one on Team Vexx has even more than, he has 3,000 more than anyone on Team Vexx. Crashy is actually the richest player for Vexx. So that's a really, really scary Joker.
Yeah, definitely. We can actually see Drules is once again going for that Fatality's Energy Lance to do that combo damage with his ultimate and with his Bat Shroud.
Oh, and he's going straight for Pseudo-Staros as well, recognizing that a lot of the damage output is from Catwoman and Gaspat and Doomsday.
It's good to be able to, you know, recognize where the damage is coming from. I mean, when you kind of think about it, having 3 attack damages plus a tank, you obviously don't need too much power armor in that situation.
I mean, here he also has some by the Kryptonian War Armor, gives him power armor, Fragment, Mogo.
Plus the healing received from the attack lifesteal is amazing for him.
Yeah, he has just a very durable champion here with Nightmare Batman.
I think it's interesting. Usually we see Nightmare Batman want to go for the damage, but he knows that for his team, going on the tankier route, trying to be somewhat of an enforcer is better than going straight assassin. Yeah,
and I think the pro teams have decided that with Nightmare Batman, that they pretty much tend to play him as an enforcer. It's kind of cool because when you pick him in the game, you often tend to think of him as the assassin.
So that was a really great initiation and a little bit of a silly Gaslight Batman ultimate trying to secure that kill. But Asylum Kanata just popped Bad Kitty and was able to jump in there and deal so much damage. Unfortunately, since everybody chased, they ended up giving up that middle dampener. But you know, if they weren't.
Can they get another kill here though? It's 5-on-3. Asylum Kanata gets focused down. He's gonna go down, but it's still a 4-on-3. Crashy's just smashing everyone. Pseudostyle goes down. Crashy's not done yet. He wants some more. Backing away though, but I think SDO, yeah, they're gonna pick up a kill on Chow as well. So that was a nice trade there. It was
but they did lose that dampener, so
they did.
You know, it's kind of tough. It's tough to say. It was good they got those kills, but I really think losing the dampener is something they can't afford right now.
I mean, and they're still so far behind in credits that the fact is that 2 of them died in that engagement, and it was a 5-on-3.
Yeah.
And that's not the best sign. Yes, it was great that they won the engagement, but a 5-on-3, you're looking to just obliterate the opponent. The opponents, not just trade pretty well.
I think Asylum Kanata should really be considering going for like a Ra's al Ghul's robe. They seem to be doing a lot of focusing there, so it might be a really good idea to pick that up and force, you know, Nightbat to blow his cooldown, and hopefully your team can do some pickups after that, because he's obviously not being alive very often, so having that second life would be pretty good for him.
Yeah, 9 lives are nice for a cap, but getting an extra one from Ra's al Ghul's can't hurt. We do have Yechi pushing the middle. Joko's pushing the bottom, so a little bit of a split push here, but now they're going to meet up. They don't want to be too exposed because, I mean, with Zatanna and with Zatanna Poison Ivy and with Catwoman and Doomsday, that's a lot of slows and snares. So if you're caught off guard, it's really hard to retreat from a team comp that Vexx has.
That's a good point, and they've got both dampeners down. So I think Vexx, you know what, at this point, what can they do to defend? What would be the most important thing for them to do?
I feel like they almost need to just camp the power core turrets and hope for like an annihilation, like a 5-0. Just some really like hope that, I think we need to hope that KGB is just too overconfident, charges in there. If they can wipe out the team, then maybe they can start climbing back in credits, maybe push the lanes back.
But do they even have a single turret?
They have one dampener.
No, I'm sorry.
Turrets,
I mean,
no,
did they take a turret from the enemies? Because it seems like they actually haven't yet.
No, they haven't.
So they're really lacking in terms of global credits, and even if they want to push out, they still have so many turrets to go through. They can conceivably turtle, but it's going to be a pretty long match.
Yeah, I think turtle's their only chance, so they're going in here. Burrows pops the ultimate to keep the team alive. The SVO going for Chow. Chow goes down. So Vexx takes down Chow, but lose 2 of their own. Crashy did a good job of keeping the other team at bay, though, while the rest of his team could take down Chow.
Unfortunately for them, I think Jokus is actually going to be securing that bottom dampener. Somebody there trying to defend Zatanna there, dealing some damage with the skewer, but doesn't really want to hang around if Pseudo Style is going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, the skewer is nice, but the problem is they don't have the credits to make their skills really hurt. They just don't have the items. There goes the EMP. There goes 1 power core turret. There goes 2 power core turrets. And this power core will be soon to follow as the entire KGB team is just focusing that down as fast as they can.
Yeah, Vexx was down 2 with 3 to defend, not able to fight that. That was just a bit of a snowball for them, honestly.
It was, you know, they were playing a great early game, but that issue with Catwoman, I think, really just put them behind, and they lost that tempo. Where Sam Kanata, I don't know, maybe had to go take care of something or whatever, but just the moment there where they kind of just lost control of the map and that temporary 4 and 5 really just pushed them behind in the game.
And it's definitely not something you can come back from, but I think that KGB did a really good job of pushing their advantages where they knew they had them. And KGB is definitely known for doing that. Definitely known for not letting any mistakes that they make really affect them for the longevity of the game. But so I think the Joker, we can say, might have been the true carry there. Look at those blue boxes he has for that 619.
Wow.
Most assists, least deaths, and most kills.
Yeah.
So that means he's basically God. He's basically everywhere.
You know, this is actually an item I used to get for a long time, and then I was seeing, for the longest time, every time I played a Power Damage champion, I always, in lane, jungle, no matter what, I maxed out Marauder Ring 4 no matter what, because I always got this amplifier that basically made it so that you get the power penetration as well.
Exactly.
But then I saw a lot of the pros who weren't doing it, so I stopped doing it. But now I see Pseudo Styles doing it, so maybe I'll go back and feel vindicated at my initial belief that Maraudering is...
And no, it's definitely a super good item. I think that people just kind of don't think about it if they're not going to the jungle. But we actually can't tell what amplifiers are being used on the end screen, so he might actually even have that amplifier that you're referring to.
I'm pretty sure he has it.
Yeah,
I'd imagine he has that amplifier, probably Fatality's energy cooldown reduction, and then maybe Dr. Destiny's Dreamstone amplifier, or who knows what his third one is. Maybe it was some early game type of thing.
But they obviously knew how to build and obviously knew how to play. So grats to KGB. Can't say that I'm surprised. This seems to be mostly a lot of winning happening with KGB. It's a magic name.
Kelevra Gaming in general.
Yeah.
I mean, Kelevra Gaming teams have been absolutely dominant, and this is going to bring us to our final 2 teams. So Vexx Gaming did a great job, almost made it, but unfortunately third place doesn't cut it. We're into our last 2 teams, Kelevra Gaming Origins and Kelevra Gaming Blight. They're going to have a grand final best-of-3 match to determine who gets the number 1 seed and $500, who gets the number 2 seed. Of course, both of them getting an all-expenses-paid trip to the $25,000 prize pool tournament at PAX East.
And just so you guys know, KGO and KGB were the same team titles that made it into the last tournament we had, which is the IC Winter Open. But this KGB is a different KGB. Former KGB is now Complexity, so if KGB wins this, they're going to be going against old KGB. So it's going to be effectively KGB versus new KGB.
That's right, because of course at PAX East there's going to be Dignitas and Complexity joining the teams that win this qualifier. And Complexity is the former KGB roster, could be an interesting match there when that happens. We'll have to wait till PAX East. But you don't have to wait till PAX East, the Awesome Infinite Crisis, because later this week, the grand finals, KGB versus KGO.